Quick. Who am I? Who am I?
You're a guy pulling a sword out of a scabbard.
I sure am, but where?
On our YouTube video.
On the image of Emirikol the Chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
You see it?
Oh,
you see the comparison there?
I'm seeing
Absolutely.
it. Okay. All right.
So
all
what
right.
are we talking about today?
Well, today, and we've talked about this we talked about it in our newsletter, Volume 1, Number 2. We also talked about it on Instagram, but we thought we would do a video about this. We are talking about the actual location of the Ride of Emirikol the Chaotic.
So, the Ride of Emirikol the Chaotic is probably our favorite art in any of the AD&D manuals.
It's right up there. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a very evocative image that has influenced my approach to D&D. It's influenced my approach to the way that I lay out certain towns. I mean, it's had no end of impact.
Yeah. This
image by Dave Trampier in the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. You can find it on page 193. And that image has been redone by a lot of people in later editions of Dungeons & Dragons, a lot of artists in later editions of Dungeons & Dragons. But to me, none of those have managed to top this simple, kind of gritty, adventurous image. Anyway, for a long, long time, I have heard that there's a place in the Eastern Mediterranean where the street that Emirikol the Chaotic is riding up, that street actually exists in a place in the far Eastern Mediterranean. And as some of our newsletter subscribers know, I got to go there just a month or two ago.
He did.
Maybe 3 months ago. And so we wanted to do a video to show you exactly where Emirikol the Chaotic made his ride.
Indeed.
In that alternate D&D universe.
Yes.
So, first of all, let's give you an idea of where the Island of Rhodes is. City of Rhodes on the Island of Rhodes. These are both in the territory of Greece. In the Eastern Mediterranean, you can find them right here. So if you look, Rhodes is a small island just off the coast of Turkey. And Rhodes itself, the city of Rhodes, is a fascinating place. It's got a really cool history. I'm not going to go into that deeply into it. It was the scene of an incredible siege in the year 1522, and as well as in 1480 and some other times, where it was held by the Knights Hospitaller. That's Frank's clan.
It sure is. Our buddy Frank.
Our buddy Frank. He at least knows about it. Mm-hmm. And the history of the city of Rhodes is really, really cool. And we may do a video on that at some point in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It's just, there's so much going on there.
It's stereotypical Crusades, medieval fighting. It's pretty neat. It's really interesting stuff.
It's a really great place. But the reason you're here and the reason we made this video is to show you that for whatever reason, a street in the city of Rhodes on the Island of Rhodes was used for the model for the Ride of Emirikol the Chaotic. Let's just jump right into it and throw this up on the screen. So again, I hate saying throw this up on. For those of you overseas that speak British English, that's me saying I'm going to be sick on the screen, but you get what I'm saying. We're going to place these images on the screen and then go over them to let you see exactly what you can see. Okay, so the Ride of Emirikol the Chaotic. You can see the image from the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide on the left. Mm-hmm. On the right, you can see a street called the Street of the Knights. This is a photograph I took just a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Look over to the left in the Dungeon Master's Guide image and look at the head of the horse. And you'll see that there's a pointed, domed doorway. And there's a guy, his foot is just kind of disappearing. Somebody's run into there. His foot is all that you can see as he makes his way off the street to escape from Emirikol. If you look to the right in the image that I took recently, you'll see that exact same door, kind of near the fellow in the white vest that's taking a closer look at something in his hands. I'm not sure what it is. And then if you look, of course, above the door, that pointed arched doorway in the Emirikol image, you'll see two small windows. You can see those same two windows on the image on the right from the photograph that I took. And then, of course, if you go straight up above those two windows, and of course, one of those windows is rounded. The other, in the photograph I took, one of the windows is rounded. The other one is flat-topped. In the Emirikol image, they're both rounded, but somebody came in at some point and of course, flattened that one when they rebuilt it. But if you go directly above those windows, you will see in the Emirikol image, there's a guy looking out of a window, trying to see what the heck's going on. And if you look at the photograph that I took, you'll see that exact same window, even with the 3/4 surround on the window itself. And then if you skip past the window to the left of the man, the one that the man's looking out of, in the Emirikol image, you'll see a shield with a sword and a snake on it. And then if you go back to the photograph I took, you will see another shield placed into the building that the man is looking out of there on that second floor window. Going a little bit further, if you drop down further down the street in the Emirikol image, you will see a building that has 6 windows on the second floor, or the first floor for our European friends. There are, like I said, a total of 6 windows, and if you look in the photograph that I took, you will see those same 6 windows in that building that is just a little bit further down the hill. If you go a little bit further down the street, you'll see some projections from some of the buildings as they get closer and closer to that covered archway, that covered walkway, that second floor covered walkway. You'll see some projections from the buildings just at the very top of the building. And you'll see those in the Emirikol image, and you will also see those in the photograph that I took. Going just a little bit further, you get to that point where it really lets you know, yeah, this is the same street. The arched walkway, the second floor arched walkway, or walkway covered arch, maybe that's the best way to put it, that's obviously the same one. The one in the Emirikol image and the one that's in the image that I took, with the little window up above. If you come back across the street, and you come up to where the bushes are in my photograph, just underneath those bushes, that's where the crossbowman is being killed by Emirikol. And then if you come up a little bit from the crossbowman, you'll see another arched doorway. If you look in my photograph, there's a person actually sitting in that arched doorway in the modern photo. Then if you come up a little bit further, if you go up again to that upper story, you will see an archway that is actually it's almost like a balcony that looks out over the street. You can see that same image, that same archway is in both images. And then as you come a little bit closer toward where I took the photograph, you can see in the Emirikol image there are 2 rectangular windows just above the head of the man who's coming out to confront Emirikol from the Green Griffin. And then you can see the image of just below the image of the Green Griffin sign, you can see the archway that leads into the Green Griffin Tavern itself. And the really cool thing to me about all of this is that brown door on the right side of my image, that's the doorway into the Green Griffin. So yeah, this place, the Street of the Knights, this is exactly where Dave Trampier took his inspiration for the ride of Emirikol the Chaotic. For those of you who are interested in the Street of the Knights, when the Knights Hospitaller, when they were the masters of the city and island of Rhodes, the Knights Hospitaller were divided up into different, what they called langs. And the Knights were divided up by the languages that they spoke. Mm-hmm. And so they lived together in the languages that they spoke, and they defended the city together in the company of the people whose language they spoke.
Makes sense.
And down this Street of the Knights, this was where all of the inns, if you will, or the dormitories the gathering places, the buildings that were dedicated to those individual langs where the knights could come and gather and have dinner or whatever else.
Sure.
Those were all located down this street of the knights. So there was one for France, there was one for Britain, there was one for Germany, there was one for Italy, I think there was one for Spain, I think there were two for France. That's what the Street of the Knights was. And I'll put up an image here, see if I can get a Google map of the Street of the Knights and where it resides in the city of Rhodes. And just behind where I took this photograph, I'm actually standing in a covered walkway. And where I was standing, if I would have turned to the left, that would have led me into the Grand Master's palace of the Knights Hospitaller.
That's not cool at all.
Into the gateway of the plaza of the Grand Master's palace of the Knights Hospitaller. No, it sucks. That's a dumb thing.
Lame.
I don't even know why I went there. I don't know why I traveled 6,500 miles literally to go see this place, because it was stupid. It was really stupid.
Stupid.
We thought that this was a really cool, very interesting piece of Dungeons and Dragons history. The location where this thing was, the Ride of Emirikol, the Chaotic, was sited. And in my mind, in a parallel universe,
that is
exactly where it took place. And, my friends and I, for years have said that, after we leave this mortal coil, the place that we're all going to meet is in the Green Griffin, and then we're going to go out and take care of Emirikol, go back inside, sit by the fireplace, have a few mugs, get caught up, and then go out and have more adventures. So this is kind of this is a spiritual place for me. And when I got there, I got to be honest with you, when I touched the door to what should be the Green Griffin in the next life, got a little emotional.
Sure.
I got a little emotional, I got to say. I've wanted to go to this place for 40 years and finally got to go do it.
Well, it is. Before you told me about this, I had no idea that this image was based on any sort of reality. Do you have any idea why he selected this as the spot? Was he just like on vacation and he saw it? And
that's the thing. And I'm hoping that some of you guys out there, some of you grognards out there, maybe you know why Dave Trampier chose this particular location for this image. I mean, it's a hugely evocative place. I like to use that word evocative. The entire city is evocative, but this street in particular, you get a chill. If you're into history and you're into especially medieval history and late medieval history and even Renaissance history, you get a chill walking down this place. And why he chose this, how he chose it, I don't know if he ever visited there. Maybe he saw the image of the Street of the Knights in National Geographic magazine or something, and he just decided to use that. I don't know, but if any of you grognards out there, or anybody with just an interest in D&D history, if you have any idea why he chose this image, the location for this image that he drew, let us know, because I'm really, really curious. But I searched and I could come across nothing that pointed to why he did.
I mean, because if I had to guess, he probably just saw the picture. I was like, this is cool. I'm going to use this for this image. Because, I mean, there are, all across Europe, there are countless cool streets.
Exactly.
That are similar to this, that would evoke the same kind of things. But it's just an interesting, especially for it to be such an out-of-the-way place.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
To be what was chosen. Like, I don't know, something in York, that would make sense.
Well, yeah, something that's more northeastern European.
Exactly.
Or, northwestern European. That makes more sense.
Yeah, but out of the way of mainstream medieval. The inspiration for mainstream medieval fantasy is just an interesting choice. So, if you do know anything, that would be really cool to hear about.
Let us know.
Yeah.
And, I mean, some of the other details, I mean, he included a lot of the details in here. If you look where the man who's running out of the Green Griffin, if you look where his foot is, you'll see that there's a kind of a sloped wedge-shaped brick there, and you can see that same wedge-shaped image below the door to the door of the Green Griffin. If you look across the street where the man was running into the building, you see that same wedge-shaped step to keep people from having to take too big of a step when they were trying to get into that building. Yeah. You can see that in both of the images. And the same thing continues on down the street. So yeah, peruse these two images and see what other details you can come up with. Fascinating thing to actually go and see. Funny thing, when we posted this in the newsletter, and if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do.
Yeah, just send us an email.
A friend of ours from Switzerland is a follower of the channel. He suggested, you know what, I would really like to do, and it's all pipe dream stuff, but it's fun to think about. He said, I would really like to be able to purchase that building that has the Green Griffin in it, and he said, turn it into a bed and breakfast, make it a pilgrimage site for early D&D players. And he said, Jim, you could go and you could just run a game for anybody who made the pilgrimage and just have an ongoing D&D game there. And I would love to do that. You know, if I win the lottery, this building is going to be mine one way or the other, and I'm going to turn it into a B&B. Anybody who's interested can come and stay, and we will play D&D until the wee hours of the morning in the historic city of Rhodes.
Sounds pretty cool to me.
Anyway, thought this was interesting, and so we thought, like I said, we've shared it before, but a lot of you are not members, or are not subscribers to the newsletter.
Yeah.
So we thought that we would also do a video about it. I did actually film a video for you guys when I was there, but I lost all of the audio for it, so I had to. That's why we have to go to these still images. So. Anything else? We've got a couple things, though, aside from this, you know, setting this aside. I want to thank our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
We've got a video coming out for you here very soon. What else have we got?
Well, first and foremost, thank you to everyone who contributed to our Kickstarter for the Forest of Moon Denizens, Book A.
Yes.
We really, really appreciate it. We were, what, 400%
close
successful?
to 400% over what we needed to get.
So thank you so much to everybody who contributed to that.
Cool.
That was very exciting for us. And we'll get those sent out to you here very soon. It's going to be quick and easy to do. So hopefully you enjoy those. And keep your eyes peeled for our next Kickstarters, which should be getting started here probably later 2025. We're not exactly sure about the dates yet, but we have some. We've got some pretty cool stuff.
Well, it's going to be in the same genre, the same vein, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And that next Kickstarter will be called Expedition to the Forest of Moon, and we're actually going to be doing a full-on book, hardback book.
Yes.
With that, and it's a setting in my campaign that I've had for a long, long time, and we've decided to put it into book form and make it available to other people to use.
We're very excited about it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Patreon, thank you guys. You're the best. Follow us on Instagram.
And if you're interested and if you enjoyed this video, think about leaving us a coffee, buying us a coffee. And the link to the coffee page will be in the description, and you can go there and you can buy us a little something if you enjoyed this content.
But if you also don't want to give us any money, we completely understand.
Sure.
And thanks for watching.
I'm Jim.
I'm Alex.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye-bye.